Hello my friends. If you do not know who I am, my name is Sarah. I thought I would bring you along with me this week to do some knitting. I really enjoy watching these types of videos and recording because then I can kind of take you along with me and my thoughts and feelings on projects as I go. So with that being said, let's dive into what I've got going on and what my goals are this week for those projects. Today is February 17th. It's a Saturday. I starting on the weekend because I have a bit more time to knit on the weekends usually than I do during the week. So we'll see what I get done the next 2 days. During the week I have a little less time to knit just because kids, life, work, all those fun things. And then I tend to knit a little bit more in the evenings. So the first project I've got going are my socks. I have one sock that I already have the leg finished. It's just waiting for a heel. And then this one, I'm partway into the leg. This is Kinetic Knitter, Autumn and Indigo, and then the blue is my hand dyed. Really pretty. I am knitting a 72 stitch vanilla sock and they are on 2.25 millimeter needles. I don't have any goal for these. They just kind of live in my purse bag backpack thing. It's basically a purse, but I have this weird aversion to saying I carry a purse. I don't know why. It stems from being a teenager and like being told I had to start carrying a purse, and I was a tomboy and I was like, I don't want to carry a purse. That's too girly for me. And ever since then I've continued to have this aversion to purses for some reason. So I mean, my husband doesn't have to worry about me having a giant purse collection because I don't know, I have an issue. It's not an issue. Just a weird thing, I guess. Anyhow, back to the projects. The next thing I'm working on is a mini mock neck tank by Jessie made. I am knitting it out of Woolberry Fiber Co. in the color Peacock Posterior. It is the Berry Natural fingering base. It is a 2-ply, which is not my favorite. I've realized I really don't like this base. The yarn is beautiful, like the color and everything, but the base is not my favorite. I talked about it a little bit more in my projects video, so if you want more reasons, you can go watch that. But here it is. I did the front and the back. I do think I should have had a few more rows in the front. I think I'd missed a step. I made a boo-boo in the front. I think it'll be okay though. I'm gonna get a little bit, actually I should probably just try this on. Let's do that. Oh yeah, no, that's nice. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better about that. I did miss a couple, I think, of rows in the front, but I think it's fitting okay, so I'm not overly concerned about it. That fits really nice though. Ooh, I know I'm not looking here now, I'm looking over here at my little screen. I really like this. Ooh, so excited. Okay. Alright, so I don't have any plans or goals for how much knitting I want to put on this. However, after now just trying it on, I kind of really want to work on it a lot now. I will have some time today. I've got a meeting, and then when we're at church tomorrow, I think I'll knit on this instead of my socks. Yeah. But I would like to get a good chunk into the body this week. So we will see where I get with that. I am very excited for this. It's a style that I wear a lot. I have like those tank tops from Target that are like the crew neck and like have that cut in the front and then a slight, it's not a racer back, but like it has a nice curve to the back armholes. So yeah, with this I'm not gonna do the full mock neck. Plus I don't think I'll have enough yarn for that because I do want the body longer on it. I don't want it cropped. So we'll see how far into the body I get, but I'm thinking I just want the teeniest bit of ribbing, especially after seeing where it hit already. So yeah, I'm very excited for this now. Yay. The next thing is my Lauder sweater by Clow. This is a test knit. I'm using Premier Wool Select in silver, which is no longer being carried by them. I am almost done with the first sleeve. Today I want to finish this sleeve, which should hopefully be no problem. And then this week the goal is to finish the entire second sleeve, which a sleeve in a week in DK isn't really that big of a deal, but because it's all over cable, it's a little bit more of a deal. It's a lot of knitting. And there have been some days where my mood has been a little questionable, like just kind of feeling a little low here and there. So when I get into those like moods, I tend to knit a little less and just want to zone on the TV or screen. So there have been some days where I just put 1 inch on it, but then there are days like yesterday where I put 4 inches into it and didn't think twice about it. So yeah, my goal is to finish that and then hopefully the second sleeve. The test knit is not due until the middle of March, end of March, something like that. But I would like to get this done in the next couple of weeks. I still have a good chunk of the body left to do. Obviously this is not a very, from here to here is not much of a body. So, but that's not gonna happen this week. If I can start on the body this week, that would be great, but I'm not making myself do that. And then lastly, I have a new cast on, which I was not planning on doing a new cast on, but the yarn came in the mail and I couldn't help myself. This yarn is gifted from Knit Picks. It is the High Desert Wool, which is an American wool. It is on the tweed base. They also have a solid line of this yarn. It's gonna be kind of hard to tell because I just started the yoke yesterday. But here's the project. I am knitting the Terrazzo sweater by Petite Knit. It is a contiguous raglan, which I've never done before. I wanted something, sorry, camera doesn't want to look at that. I wanted to do something slightly different as far as construction. I just want to play around with some things and see what construction I like best as far as a fit on me goes. I really do like raglan on myself and I like drop shoulder, but I do feel like raglan can be a hit or a miss for me. I feel like drop shoulder I like a little bit more, but I am curious to see how the contiguous raglan works. I also want to try saddle shoulder. There's a couple out there that I'm very intrigued by. I do have the Calm Down cardigan that I'm going to be making this year. So yeah, there's a lot of things I want to be trying this year. So that's where I'm at with this. I also struggled to find a pattern that fit my gauge. Before I picked a pattern, I gauge swatched to get the fabric that I liked best, which was about 17 and a half to 18. I would have been okay with 18 and a half, 19 stitches per 4 inches, but I really liked that 18-ish range. So I took to Ravelry, plugged in the little gauge thing, like you can put, there's a filter for gauge. So I had a minimum of like 17 and then went up to 19 stitches per 4 inches. And it pulled up a bunch of patterns. Most of them I was kind of on. There were some that I was kind of thinking about, but I wasn't quite sure. So I just decided to go with this one. It had a lot of photos on Ravelry as far as like finished projects, because some of the other ones I was curious on had like no project photos. And then there was another one that I was like, ooh, I kind of like this. But then when I looked at the project photos, I was like, ooh, it kind of looks a little weird on everybody. So yeah, I landed on this one and I'm enjoying working on it so far. I did make a couple of oopsies, but that's okay. I will probably talk about my oopsies a little bit later, but there we are. I have four projects going at the moment, which I feel like is a manageable amount. And none of them except for the cable sweater is in any sort of hurry or deadline. So yeah, we will see how far I get, but let's go ahead and get to knitting. Okay, I can't see if this is in focus or not because I'm not wearing my glasses. But I'm trying it on. I've got this pulled over far enough to check my sleeve length because a lot of times I have a tendency to like pull the sleeve and then it's like pulling the whole sweater this way, and then when I knit the other side, I've actually knit a sleeve that's only this long. So I've pulled this side to make sure that the sleeve length is good. It seems to be pretty good. Yeah, I think I might just do 1 or 2 more rounds just to be safe. I don't mind my sleeves being extra long, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. A quick pop in because I am pleased with the amount of knitting I got done today. I only knit on my cable sweater, and I only knit for a teeny bit during my movie during the day, during the kids' quiet time, and a tiny bit this evening while we were watching our show. So I finished 4.5 inches. Look at that, from there to there. That may not seem like a lot, but it's a lot for cabling, and it's more than I did over the entire weekend. So I'm pleased with that. And it's making me a little bit hopeful that I might be able to finish a sleeve by Saturday. We will see. Okay, it is Thursday. I did a lot of work today. Not much knitting, but I did work. I poured resin. What did I do? I made molds. I painted stitch markers. I finished taxes, which took up a good chunk of my day, and then made business phone calls and personal phone calls and all the things. But this evening I got a little bit of knitting time in. Not as much as I wanted. I put some work on my Lauder sweater. I think, let's look and see. I need, how many inches? That's my other sleeve. Sleeve 1 is 20 inches, and there's about 17.5 inches of cabling. Sleeve 2 has 10.25 inches. So making our way there. Hoping maybe tomorrow I get a little bit more time. I don't have quite as much work stuff to do tomorrow. I do have a Zoom meeting tomorrow morning, and then I need to pour more resin and make more molds, but that's like, I work for like a half hour, and then there's waiting. And then I work for a half hour, and then it's waiting. It's like, yeah. So hopefully I'll get some more knitting in on this. I'd like to get maybe another 4 inches done. That'd be great. But I unexpectedly put in a bit of work on this. I was watching the kids while they were riding their bikes out by the street. We live on a pretty busy street, but we have a sidewalk, so the kids can like ride their scooters and bikes on the sidewalk safely, but I still like to keep an eye on them. So while I was watching them, I knit on my Tazo sweater, and I knit from there to there. So a good amount, especially considering it's raglan and we're continuing to increase stitches. So yeah, I put a bit of work on that. And then when I came and sat down for the evening, I was going to pick this up, but then I had no brain space to do that. So I just kept working on the stockinette. And then I did put a little bit of work on this thing yesterday. Not a ton, but from there to there. I stopped in at my parents' house in the evening. I visited with them for just like an hour and a half, something like that. Hour and 15 minutes. And so I sat and knit on my tank top. So I have not touched my socks in the last few days. Goodness gracious me. I anticipate though, during the Zoom meeting I have in the morning, I will probably knit on this. And then I also have a meeting in the evening. A lot of meeting stuff, but that's okay, because I can maybe work on this or my sock. Probably just my sock, because that's easier and quicker. And then Saturday, I don't have any plans. My husband's working part of the day. Sunday also no plans. So I'm hoping I have the energy to actually get some knitting in. That's the hope anyhow. We will see. I am making progress. Yeah. I'm gonna go to bed. Can't imagine why I need to go to bed. My lord. Good night. Hello, it is now Monday the 26th. I technically am past that whole 1 week knitting phase. I was planning on going Saturday to like Saturday or Sunday, but you know, I kind of lacked the energy this weekend and didn't feel like chatting to the camera and talking about my knitting. So here we are on Monday, and that's totally okay. Today has already been a bit of a day. I had to go to Seattle for my son's appointment. Every now and then he just needs some maintenance done on his prosthesis. So yeah, he's due probably for a new one in a few months or so. His foot is starting to wear out on his leg. It's like the foot is starting to split. But we're gonna try and eke out a little bit more life out of this one before we have to get a new one. But anyways, we were there very, very early because we hit zero traffic on the way down or back, which is amazing because normally when I go to Seattle, I hit traffic one way or another and sometimes both ways. But this time, no traffic, made it there in a great amount of time. So we sat in the parking lot for a little while and I got a little bit of knitting in on my socks. So for a week's worth, I started, I think about here and knit from there in a week on sock number 2. I have about 1 more inch to go on this sock before I start on the heel. I do think I'm gonna start like knitting on this at home for a little bit. That way I can do both of the heels because 1 inch is not a ton of knitting like for when I'm out and about, so I'm hoping I can wrap that up at home, get the heels done so that way I can start working on the feet of both of those socks. Then from there, let's talk about this one. I have put a bit of work on it, not a ton. I did have to do a little bit of math because I have about 32.9 grams of yarn left. I realized once I started this project that the fingering weight yarn I was using is a true fingering and has about 400 yards in it versus a light fingering which can have 430 to 460 yards. So I'm not getting quite as far into the body as I would like. So I did some mathing and it seems like with the ribbing, I will end up with about 9 inches of body from the underarm to the end of the hem. That's not quite as long as I wanted it. It will end up being a bit cropped, but I think with high-waisted jeans or shorts, it should be okay because I personally don't like to show any midriff. So if it ends up being too short with like my high-waisted pants, then I might either sell it or find somebody else who doesn't mind showing off their midriff. So yeah, we will see. But I did put a bit more work on this than I thought I did with just like 10 minutes here or half an hour there. And yeah, so I am pleased with where I'm at in this. I think probably I'll be able to finish this week. So we will see. You will find out in my next projects video, which will be next week. See if I finish it or not. Okay, my Lauder sweater. I did it. I finished both of the sleeves. Technically not on the weekend. I did do my second bind off today, but all I had to do was a bind off today. But yeah, here we are. I have one sleeve, two sleeves. I'm so happy. I did do a tubular bind off on the cuffs, which I haven't done a tubular bind off in a really long time. It was a lot faster than I remember it being, but I've also done a lot of Kitchener stitching since then, since I tried it last, so it went pretty quick for me. But my thing is the rippling. It's got this like flare and a ripple. I'm not a huge fan. I was pretty taut with it too. I was a little worried I was gonna end up being too tight, because like I was pulling my yarn through pretty good, because well, on one sleeve I cut the yarn and then realized I forgot to do my setup rounds of slipping stitches. So I had to knit those 2 setup rounds and then also do the sewn bind off, and it was cutting it kind of close on one of them. So I was pulling pretty snug. So I don't understand why I'm getting this. I mean, yes, when I block it, I'm hoping, like, I'm gonna pin it to block it, and I'm gonna purposely like kind of pull this out and not pull the end out. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, the cables are, of course, but again, like it's not the cables doing it, because like the ribbing is like going in, and then this just kind of, I don't know, whatever. It should be fine once I block it. How do I feel about the tubular now after so many years of not doing it? I still feel kind of meh about it, honestly. Like, I don't know. We'll see after I block it if I like it more. If it's always doing this weird flaring thing, then I don't like it, because I don't want the end of my ribbing to flare out. So I don't know. We'll see once I block it if I end up doing a tubular bind off more often. Who knows? But overall, I'm very pleased with where I'm at. I tried it on and I'm so excited. I can't wait to finish the body. I could have started the body last night because I did the tubular bind off on the one, and then the other stitches were just on hold. So I could have picked up the body, but I couldn't be bothered, and I knit on some stockinette instead. But I'm very excited to be able to work on this. I have 2 balls left. I used two balls for the 2 sleeves and the collar. So I'm thinking for the body, I'll probably only need 1 of those balls, maybe dip into the second one if I want some more length, and then maybe use it also for the ribbing. So we'll see. But I'm very pleased with where I'm at. I'm hoping I can maybe finish it this week, maybe over the weekend, finish it and have it done by like next Monday or Tuesday. We'll see. I'm not gonna like force it, but it would be very nice to have this done ahead of the deadline, be able to take my time and get really nice photos of it, because this sweater is absolutely gorgeous. I also can't wait to wear it and would like to wear it before it starts getting warm out again. So there's my Lauder sweater. I also put a bit more work on to my Terrazzo sweater than I was planning. Well, last night I picked it up because I didn't want to do any more work on my cable sweater. So here I am, if I can hold it. Ta-da-ish. It's bunching on the cables. Yeah, it's just the nature of a project at this point. But yeah, here I am in my contiguous raglan. I made another oopsie. So my first mistake I made, which I'm not sure I fully went into, but as I was doing the shoulder increases, I went a couple of increases too far. I think I went 2 increases too far. I want it to be oversized, so I figured that's fine. And then my second mistake was I was doing the sleeves and I was doing the sleeve increases, And I'm going along and I'm like kind of looking at it thinking, I feel like the body should be bigger. So at some point, am I going to be doing like raglan increases on the body and the sleeves, or am I just doing the sleeves from here on out? So I took a look at the pattern and was like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing raglan increases like 5 rounds ago. Oops. It's okay. It's fine. I will just kind of go to the point where I get the right amount of sleeve stitches I need to get to, and then stop doing my sleeve increases and then just do the body increases. It'll be fine. Like I said, I want it to be oversized, so, you know, I'll probably even throw in a couple more extra stitches on the body because I want it to be like super big and cozy. Like this sweatshirt is so big. It's actually my husband's, it's not mine. But I love how big and oversized and cozy it is. So that's what I'm wanting from this one. I am really loving the yarn. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I have been every now and then, if there's a tweed little bit that sticks up too far, I have been kind of pulling at them because I've realized I don't like them when they're sticking way the heck out and going, wee! Yeah, call me crazy, it's okay. I know I'm not the only person who pulls tweed out of tweed yarn. Like, look at this. That little guy is just, he's sticking up way too far, so we just pull him off. It's fine. But for the most part, this yarn, the tweed, is like really well incorporated into the yarn, and there's not any like an excessive amount of pieces just going wee, sticking way the heck out there. So I cannot wait for this sweater. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, that is basically all I've knit on this week. I feel like it's a decent amount of knitting for not having had a massive amount of time to knit and having a few like low points here and there. I feel pretty good with what I accomplished, especially because I finished those sleeves on my Lauder sweater. That was the big goal. I got it done. Now I can work on the body. Again, I'm so excited for that sweater. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching this vlog, what I knit in a week video. If you liked it, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe, do all the things below. You know how to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in my next video, which will probably be a projects video next week. So we'll see you then. Bye.